What's up, YouTube? My name is Eric, and welcome to my channel. It's all about mental health, mental illness, suicide awareness, just having a little bit of fun, letting people know that they're not alone. I am diagnosed with ADHD, PTSD, GAD, and MDD. I have lost a wife and a father to suicide. I'm a recovering cocaine and alcoholic addict, and I share as many tools and experiences as I can for anybody out there struggling, just to let you know that it's okay. And the shit that you're going through, yeah, shit gets real quick, but you're not alone. I want to explain the differences of Ritalin and Adderall. I was prescribed both of them. I'm ADHD. Originally, I was diagnosed ADD, and I was about 14 years old. I was in 7th grade when I was diagnosed ADD. So when I was diagnosed ADD, the first medication that they put me on was actually Ritalin. And Ritalin helped me. I mean, my grades went up. Before I got on any kind of medications, I was failing in school. I wasn't doing my homework. I wasn't participating in class. A lot of the teachers even thought I was slow because I wasn't at the speed at all of the class. I got just trapped in my brain. I mean, I was a daydreamer. I would doodle. I would do things because I couldn't control what was happening up here. So the best thing that my parents ever did was get me help. They got me with the doctor. I got diagnosed ADD, and they put me on Ritalin. So next thing you know, I was a CD student. That was where my grades were. And like 7th grade, I was a CD student. I got a couple B's. I didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't. School was so difficult for me. I hated school. Well, when I got onto Ritalin, all of a sudden my grades literally, like in one quarter, went from some B's, C's, like struggling not to get any D's, to all A's. Except in one class, and I'll explain that. And that's what led to the switch from Ritalin to actually Adderall. Ritalin helped me tremendously. It's trial and error with medications to see how it works for you. There's a bunch of different types of ADHD meds out there. I mean, there's Ritalin, there's Adderall XR, there's Visine. Those medications alone, just those 4 are ones for ADHD. There are other ones even. And the reason that there's different medications is because they all do work differently. With Adderall, works for me differently than Ritalin, because Ritalin, it hit me like a force and it dropped me quick. And what I mean by that is there was no gradual connection with the medication. I mean, it went from 0 to 100 real quick. I would take it in about 5 minutes, like the meds kicked in and there I am. And the one thing that it did do too is, instead of a gradual drop off the medication as it's getting out of my system, it dropped me. And so it was funny because my parents, it was baffling to us a little bit, because my grades went from A to BC to A. And we had to figure out, like, okay, what's going on? Is it this class? Is it this teacher? Like, what's wrong? Well, it turned out that that's when my medication was actually dropping me. I take 10 milligrams of Adderall, and I did Ritalin the same way. It was 10 milligrams of Ritalin at about 7:30 in the morning. About 7:30 to 8:30 is when I take my meds. But as I was a kid, I was taking it more directed before I went to school. And it was dropping me before that class, so I was falling back into the daydreaming, to the not being able to focus, not doing my homework for that class, not taking my notes, not being really prepared in that class, but all my other classes I was. That was the big difference that I noticed with Ritalin, was the drops. I mean, it helped me tremendously. It helped me focus. It helped me with everything, except it hit me really quick and it dropped me really quick. Now with Adderall has a more gradualness to it. When I take Adderall, in about 15 to 20 minutes is when I can really feel it kind of kick in. I kind of have that aha moment of, okay, let's do this. And I can slowly feel it weaning off. And it doesn't just drop me till the next thing you know, I'm stuck in my head of going, what am I supposed to be doing? That is the biggest difference that I noticed between the two medications. I did actually try Adderall XR. Adderall XR is time released, and that lasted too long because my second dose of Adderall is at noon. Well, by about 5-6 o'clock, that dose is pretty much out of my system. And now I'm at home, I can relax. Well, with Adderall XR, it lasted a lot longer into the evening, so I wouldn't want to even stop my task because, well, I'm in the middle of doing this and I don't want to stop. So finding the right meds and then the right balance was everything to me. And that's what it really comes down to when it comes to medication, especially with ADHD, is it's trial and error to find out what works for you. And once you find that, it's like you grab onto it and you don't let go, because it does make such a difference in your life. Like for me, doctors will increase, decrease dosages. It's all about communication though with your doctor and how it's making you feel. Like I didn't know any other better way to describe it than I got dropped by the drug, essentially. And after explaining it long enough, the doctor understood what I was talking about. But explain to your best of your knowledge, because if you don't tell your doctor of how the drug's making you feel, they don't know. So now they're just assuming that it's working how it's supposed to work. And it's our responsibility of going through this trial and error to explain to others how it's working or how it's not working so that we find the right dosage. So don't be afraid to talk to your doctor about that. And if you're uncomfortable about what's happening, bring it up to your family or even bring it up to a different doctor, trial and error to find what works. So don't give up on yourself. I know people that Ritalin has worked for tremendously. I know people that Adderall has worked for tremendously. Visine has worked for tremendously. Find out what works for you because you are worth that. Hit the like and subscribe button. I'd love to have you along for the journey. My channel is all about mental health, mental illness. I created a nonprofit driven together to bridge the gap between a crisis hotline and therapy, of that in between, of what do we do in between, of finding tools, experiences, coping to help us fight through, because you're worth it. Down below in the description boxes, I have links to all my different social media. Feel free to hit me up on social media if you need extra support. I even have links to the mental health Discord below. I have links to affiliate links on Amazon for fidget spinners, fidget cubes, things that I use that help me get through the day sometimes. I even have a link to BetterHelp if you want to try online therapy, because it is trial and error to find out what works for you. Because you got to remember, you're the most important. And taking care of you is everything. You're a BAMF. You're a badass motherfucker. You've made it through 100% of your worst days to make it through 2 today. So don't forget that. Together we got this. Hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below. I'd love to have you along for the journey.